Hello and welcome to Sports Headline News, our weekly video blog sponsored by UcaBet.co. My name is Frank Nordstrom and this is Adam Markowitz. As with every week, we'll be reviewing some of the games from the previous weekend as well as a preview of the upcoming games from a betting perspective. December is here, and when it comes to college football, it means one thing.
Bowl season.
Games. Yes, bowl season. Last Saturday marked an end to the regular season as the main conference titles were disputed and teams were looking for a spot in the bowls available to them.
That's right, Frank. It was an exciting day in college football indeed. Let's start off with the biggest game of the week. It certainly has to be number 2 Alabama against number 3 Georgia for the S.E.C. title. The Alabama Crimson Tide was favored -7, although the line moved a little bit higher throughout the week and towards game time. So I'm not surprised that actually the public was heavy on Bama as they're looking to make their third road appearance on the BCS title game in the last 4 years. And on the other hand, Georgia's coming off from a huge win against Georgia Tech, huge rivalry down there.
That was a great game, yes it was.
Yep. Yes, indeed, and they stumped on Georgia Tech 42-10. Now, this game, it was all about defense because they have really good defenses, both teams, and it pretty much came down to whomever made a mistake, and it was Georgia. In the last couple of seconds, they went down to Alabama's red zone, and they actually, thanks to poor clock management, lost the game, pretty much.
Yep, fourth quarter, last minute beat. Indeed, a great game went down for the final seconds. Of course, for betting purposes, Georgia was the winner as they covered +7 as a dog. Although they didn't get the money line win, which would have been a considerable payout for those taking it.
That's right. It would have been nice, and they could have won that game.
Sure. Yeah, it was definitely close. In other games, a huge surprise took place in the Big Ten as Nebraska, favorite by 3, lost to Wisconsin, 70-31. Badgers win the Big Ten Conference and move on to the Rose Bowl against Stanford.
That's correct. Wisconsin had some troubles recently, losing in overtime to both Ohio State and Penn State. But if there's one thing that they know how to do is rush the ball, and that's exactly what they did against Nebraska. They actually rushed for 593 yards and produced 2 players with more than 200 rushing yards. Pretty impressive. That's actually a first time in school history.
Sure was, yeah. Yeah, very impressive.
So now the Badgers will play the 99th edition of the Rose Bowl against Stanford that goes into the game as a 6.5-point favorite. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this number dropped as both teams play in a similar way, you know. It could be closer than expected. On the other hand, I predict that most of the public will favor Stanford after not only the great season that they've had, because they pulled an upset on Oregon, but also because this would be their 3rd consecutive BCS appearance in a bowl. So it looks like they're doing things
the right way. Yeah, it seems like they are. Must be being all about the coaching nowadays, correct? Well, Stanford is definitely an up-and-coming program. Let's remember that the 49ers coach Jim Harbaugh took over the team 6 years ago and pretty much turned it around into a championship-winning team. And, of course, the 49ers saw that and are knocked on his door again, and he's been doing quite a great job again back with the San Fran.
That is correct. They're doing great over there.
Yeah. Last but not least, the ACC title went to Florida State after beating Georgia Tech 21-15. Unfortunately, Seminoles did not cover the 14-point spread.
That is correct. I mean, lots of points for a final game, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah, that is a big point spread, especially on a championship. So how about we go over some of the main bowls coming up this week and in the next couple weeks, actually. You can find a complete schedule always on UcaBet.co. Includes the odds, and as well as you should follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We'll get you some inside information. Definitely help you get in
Look us up.
Bets. On December 27th, we have the Holiday Bowl, Baylor versus UCLA. UCLA favorite, only 1.5 points.
Oh, but I'm looking forward to this game, and it should be a great game indeed. Let's remember that Baylor is doing things right. They have a great program that recently produced a 1 RG3 that's having great success in the NFL, and means that they're doing things right over there. Maybe not only that, but also the fact that they shook things up in the BCS race when they beat #1 ranked Kansas State. You know?
Yeah, I remember that game. That was a great game.
Indeed it
Baylor
was.
is looking solid. Also, we plan on looking into the Alamo Bowl this year. Texas faces Oregon State with odds makers favoring Oregon State -2.
We can't forget about the Alamo this year, can we, huh? Looks like Texas football hasn't been the same program that it was a couple of years ago. But, you know, on the other hand, OSU has cashed in a little bit on the popularity of their rival Oregon.
Yeah.
And they've stepped up their program. Looks like they should be taking this game without any problems, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, well, that's Marco. He's thinking OSU. Well, thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Sport Headline News. We'd like to invite you to join us again for our next show. We'll also be having some NFL for this week, so take a look at that blog. Thank you very much again, and have a great day.